It's a crisis we have highlighted all year. Gun violence in Philadelphia on pace to break the record for the most homicides the city has ever seen in a one-year period. 521 people have been killed, among them.
So they're up to 521. I think they passed 500 on Thanksgiving, and they're already up to 521. They're definitely going to get 550, but I think 600's out of reach. That would be 79. Yeah, 600's out of reach.
521 people have been killed, among them sons, daughters, mothers, fathers, and some who have made it their life's work to help pull our city out of crisis.
New tonight, NBC 10's Stephen Fisher shares the story of an anti-violence activist and block captain murdered last month and how his community is now stepping up to keep his mission alive.
Now, I told you guys this stuff does not work. And when I say it doesn't work, I have to tell you that I admire these men's valor, their bravery, their courage. In no way am I besmirching their manhood or their principles or their convictions. Not those kind of convictions, but you know what I mean. Their conviction, their intentions. This stuff just does not work. It is highly dangerous. And you're doing something that's very dangerous for no reason because it makes absolutely, positively no difference.
It's almost like the champion had been murdered.
Block captain and anti-gun violence leader here in the city's Richard Allen section of North Philadelphia, Michael Muhammad, was shot and killed leaving this corner store here at 10th and Brown on November 27th.
Right now, the community is in trauma.
There have been 4 murders here in the past 4 months. Just a few feet away from a memorial for Muhammad sits another, recognizing another life lost due to gun violence.
So there's been 4 murders right there in that spot. That little intersection, I guess. And I said this the other day. Imagine if you grew up in this, right here where this intersection was at. And from the time you were in first grade, as long as you could remember, until you were in 12th grade, getting ready to go to college. There had been 4 murders on that intersection up the street from where you grew up at. You would say you live in a pretty dangerous area. But what if there were 4 murders in that one area in 4 months? And no one thinks that there's something more than poverty going on here? Because whenever I see these guys who do this stuff online, they're always flashing money. I mean, a lot of money. They always have all the trendiest outfits. Now, yeah, they may not be, have anything in their savings account or, a stock portfolio or anything like this, but hunger and, just clothes on their back is not the issue. So I don't think poverty, from that standpoint, is something else going on.
Right now, the community is in trauma.
There have been 4 murders here in the past 4 months. Just a few feet away from a memorial for Muhammad sits another, recognizing another life lost due to gun violence, the very thing Muhammad had been fighting against.
He loved this community, so it was in his heart to do it, which is a beautiful thing.
His fiancée says Muhammad's mission was to clean up the streets, both literally and figuratively, and even helped young people find jobs. What did he teach you?
A lot.
he was so enthusiastic about the potentiality of the help that was coming here, through the help that he was bringing, the help that the young brother here was giving. And we was working diligently to make it a nice, peaceful community like it was at one time.
Stanley Crawford with the Black Male Community Council worked with Muhammad to put a dent in gun violence. We at NBC 10 even interviewed him back in early October.
We don't want our children to look at the police as if they're the enemy.
This is just... I can't even explain how sad this is. Soldiers, man. Somebody just knocked this guy over. Nobody knows anything. Like, he's just dead. It's just like a chess piece on the board. Someone takes your chess piece and just sits it to the side, and it's time for the next move. He's gone. Somebody killed him. We don't know who. That's put a lot of trauma, especially when the majority of the murders go unsolved. In the ones where they do catch a suspect, the DA doesn't prosecute them. And this guy, and one thing about these guys, they try to kind of bond with the street guys, because you have to meet them where they're at. You got to kind of play 50. You can't go 100% like, yo, pull your pants up, stop shooting, you know what I'm saying? We going to be walking around with the police. No. You got to kind of play it 50. Like, you one of them, you cool and everything, you from the streets, this brother probably did some time, maybe in the city jail or county when he was younger, or maybe even in the pen. And you can't play 50 with these guys, man. You either all in or all out. They're animals. So if you come behind the enclosure at the zoo, and you're not a zookeeper, you're just a visitor or a spectator at the zoo, and you come behind the enclosure, and even zookeepers get eaten sometimes. But if you just come behind the enclosure, you may pet a lion. Lion may be confused. Lion may be wary. Lion may be think you're not, trying to figure out your angle. And you may get away with it once or twice, because the lion, is full. But then you come around at a time when that lion's just lost all his money at the dice game. He's had an argument with his baby mama. The police jumped out on the block. He had to throw all his work. Or some dudes just killed his homeboy. It's day one. And that may be the day you come around, or the day you ruffle some feathers, or the days dudes I don't know about him, man. I don't know about Cuz, man. Man, how come every time, Cuz come around, the police come around right after that? Cuz hot. Nah, I heard he be talking to them other dudes from the other side, man. He be playing both sides. Or just being in that environment, in those trenches, dude might just try to rob you and kill you while he's robbing you. I mean, it could be a lot of stuff for something that doesn't make an iota of a difference. but that you can't blame them for trying. You can't blame these men for trying something. It just doesn't make an iota of difference. These guys are losing their lives.
We at NBC 10 even interviewed him back in early October.
We don't want our children to look at the police as if they're the enemy.
His death, a big loss to a city and community in need.
He wanted to do a lot of things that was positive and constructive for the community. So what his murder did was up our efforts and our diligently to do what we can do as an organization to help this community.
Residents here vow to build off of what Michael Muhammad has already done here in the community and carry on in his legacy. He was shot 10 days ago. Still, no arrests have been made. In North Philadelphia, Stephen Fisher, NBC 10 News.
As city leaders work to solve the gun violence crisis, NBC 10 is committed to seeking peace in Philly. We want to hear what's happening and what's working in your community. Email us about the people and programs making an impact. Send it to seekingpeace@nbcuni.com.